Hello, welcome ladies and gentlemen and all the bots who are tuning in live. And hello to those who are watching the recorded version on YouTube. My name is Lloyd and I'm an artist. Well, I think I am. I claim to be. Maybe it's all just an illusion, who knows. But yeah, I make really vibrant, colourful art, and tonight I'm doing a cool thing that I do every Friday night, but I couldn't do it last night, so I'm doing it this night. So I sort of rescheduled it. So I don't usually stream on Saturday nights, but I'm starting to think maybe I should. It feels more comfortable. So let me know if you like it. Definitely, I'm curious. So tonight I'm doing DoodleBlobs. What are DoodleBlobs? DoodleBlobs are a thing I've been doing for about 5 weeks on stream now. And so if I show you where I'm at, I'm kind of making a poster. So the idea is that this sketch just started off as a bunch of blobs like that. And then what I did is every stream I've worked on this, I've filled in one of these blobs with a doodle, and thus the name DoodleBlobs. This is my first DoodleBlob, really purple and cool. This is my second, kind of yellow, sandy and weird. My third, and then my fourth, which I did last week, which I'm kind of happy with. I like this bit actually. I thought that was really cool. But tonight I've got to decide which DoodleBlob I'm doing. I'm thinking it'd be really cool to sort of finish off this part of the sketch and just do this little small one over here. But I'm not sure, it might not fill the entire stream. You know what, I'm going to do this one because I've got a long day tomorrow anyway, so if I finish early it's going to be, alright, probably a good thing for me. So this is actually an interesting art piece in the sense because it's actually so big that I can only have 3 layers, and then the whole thing conks out and goes, no, you can't add any more layers, and as a result I have to therefore split it up. So I sort of crop it and I sort of break it down into smaller bits that I can work on. So I've actually prepared this one for tonight. So yeah, you'll see that I've done that for the previous streams, which is pretty cool. Wonderful. So I'm gonna sketch over this one, I think, and hopefully we'll be able to add some color to it as well. I'm going to rename this to outline because I like naming layers sometimes. I'm not the most diligent with it, but you never know. Maybe I'll do it this stream. So I think I can do a fair amount in this little blob. It's a very small blob. It's the smallest blob of the DoodleBlobs poster, but you know, I have faith. I think it can achieve things. I'm not the biggest person in the world, but I achieve things. That's certainly a truth. I'll also show you one other thing before I continue, because I'm pretty proud of this as well. Like in the previous stream, I was actually working on this. So this is like it's actually a desktop background, but it's also a mobile wallpaper. And so to give you some perspective, this is a little overlay that I made to give me some guide. But yeah, I worked on this in the last stream. I'm hoping to work on it on the next stream, and I'm going to add some color to it. I previously attempted color in a sketch before the last one, but I didn't like the color palette I was choosing, so I've decided to do that again. So I'm looking forward to this one. I'm actually thinking of making this sort of like a freebie, to sort of something I can use in marketing to get more people over here. So keep an eye out on that. That's going to be a fun sketch to complete as well. I kind of like the direction that's going in. But yeah, tonight's all about DoodleBlobs, so let's get started on that. I haven't actually done any sketching today, so usually I'm always sketching. It's just sort of part of my personality now. It's ingrained into who I am. But yeah, I don't know. I've actually been really busy. I've achieved some really cool things today, which I'm probably not allowed to talk about because it would be probably too much personal information if I did. But I'm super proud of it. It was a big thing that I was working on for just almost a year now, actually. Crazy. And I was kind of working on this thing all throughout COVID, which made it even more difficult. And so yeah, I accomplished it, which is really great. But so it feels like I've actually achieved a hell of a amount today, but I've only really done one big thing. But you'll never know. You'll never know what it was. There you go. That's part of the fun of these, of watching Lloyd Artist. The mysteriousness of it all. Who is this person? Okay. So first of all, what I should do is I should try and find the right size line. So my streams always start off with this boring thing that I do where I kind of try to match the right shape line, and that way I can kind of keep a consistency in the sketch, which is kind of fun. Wonderful, let's do that. So, what should I do? What should I do? This is the hard part. Starting is always a hard part for me. I'm thinking I'll start off, you know what, I'm going to divide. I'm going to divide and conquer. Conquer? Okay, let's get started. So let's go, you know what, no, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to draw a hole. There we go. Just an ordinary, boring little hole. And I'm going to make something come out of this hole. So what shall we have come out of this hole? That is the question. What I'll do, I'll add it in another layer on top of it, so in case I stuff it up, I've got a lot of flexibility. It's kind of funny, I just sort of naturally drew a line there, but what I want to do, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to add some kind of curvature here, like that. I don't know, I think I can do better with that one. You know what I might do? I might pull this up a bit. Go to the right layer. There we go. So it's kind of weird, but I'm sort of thinking of a weird vine that kind of breaks up the entire piece here. Sort of like shaped like a mustache. A mustache line. I call them lines, but if you call them vines or like tentacles, that's not exactly wrong either. Call them whatever you want. Let's try that again. Wonderful. Ooh, going a bit off canvas there, so I'll probably try and reel that in. Let's do that. You know what? I'm gonna erase this. Ugh, that's not an eraser. Okay, cool. Let's do that. You know what? I'm going to undo it completely. There we go. Making progress. I feel like whenever I start a stream, I'm pretty slow on the getting started thing. But eventually, once I get in the swing of it, you'll see it all come together. There we go. Let's get rid of that line, because I want this coming in front of the device, the doodle. Very cool. Let's add a bit of texture here, because why not? While we're here. I'm even thinking of making the tentacle maybe grow out of this other one branch of the tentacle growing out of the other. You know what? Let's bring up an overlay. There we go. I knew I was forgetting something. There we go, some funky overlays. I'm all about the funky overlays, so let's do that. Okay. I don't want this to be just any ordinary line. You know, I will actually have the other line poking out like that. I'll make it a little bit. There we go. Cool. And then I should probably, I'm drawing in the wrong layer here. I really should draw in the top one. It's less destructive, so I can kind of edit and manipulate that line afterwards. There we go. And here's a cool trick. If you do that, if you do end up drawing in the right line, or in the right layer, I can just go like this. I can smudge it into perfection. So I'm cheating already. Look at that. Massive cheat. Ooh, come back. There we go. I've also noticed this line is a little bit too thin now. So let's maybe try thickening it out a bit. Ah. There we go. Cool. Awesome. So yeah, what have I been up to? Probably not much. Like every Victorian at the moment, I'm sort of, our state's in a state of lockdown. So yeah, we're kind of in a weird place. Our cases are growing, but our vaccination rates are also growing. So as a result, we're sort of quietly confident this thing will be over soon. we'll be able to come out of lockdown. But at the same time, we're also very concerned because it's sort of uncharted territory for us. But I have faith. I think we'll come out of it soon. There we go. But I'm quite happy to say that I'm now double vaxxed, which is super relieving. And yeah. But I'm still somewhat concerned for those who aren't. They're still out there somewhere. Okay. So I've made some tentacles, and I actually don't want to just leave these tentacles as they are. I have a plan for these tentacles. I want to develop them and really make them kind of intricate and weird. And so what I'm thinking of doing, I'm thinking of making them so that they kind of pierce a shape. And I want to have that shape sort of like a continuous repeating thing across the doodled tentacle. And I'll try this shape, just a simple one. I'll try like this little disc, and we'll see how we feel about that. There we go. I should have done that a different layer. I keep forgetting to add layers. I don't know what's getting into me recently. It's probably because I'm still rusty. I haven't drawn all day, so I'm revving up my engines, so to speak. There we go. That's a really weird kind of look, but I don't know, I like it. I think it kind of works. I might just polish off the cylinder a little bit. Then we'll straighten it up and make it look a bit nicer. Yeah, that's a bit better. And I'll just cut that off. So I tend to sculpt drawings more than anything. I wish I was one of those people who are just amazing line artists and could just draw anything in a single stroke. I'm not one of those people. I'm certainly one of those people who kind of learnt drawing off their phone. And as a result, I'm so used to those kind of things like copy and paste and stuff like that. So let's continually add a few more cylinders around the vine. I'm calling it a vine. Earlier I said I call them lines, but I've had a change of take. A change of tactic. I'm going to call these lines. No, vines. There we go. Okay. Let's do that. Yeah, I was struggling with this little bit, but there we go. And once again, I keep forgetting to put it in the new layer. That would make my job so much easier, but I'm still kind of... There we go. Okay, this time, for the next cylinder, I'm going to add it in a different layer. I'm going to be diligent. I'm going to abide by my own rules, you know. There we go. Okay. You know what? I need a drink. That's the problem. Surely, I need a drink. I gave up tracking my water intake, and I'm going to blame it on that. There we go. We'll polish that up just a little bit. Okay, so let's create a new layer this time. And we'll continue drawing these little discs, these little circles on this vine. What I'm going to do, I'm going to draw the circles first like that, and then I'm going to make them 3D as we go. And I'll push that up. That's actually a trick called quick shape. So if you just draw a circle and hold down at the end, it actually snaps into a circle. And then what you can do, you can just get rid of that. So this is the benefit of drawing in different layers. This is why if you're looking to learn, this might not be the best stream to do it. Because I'm teaching all sorts of bad habits here. Let's get rid of that line this time, and then this one. Yeah, it's way easier when you actually use layers the correct way. And we'll go over here this time. Ooh, let's try that again. There we go. Wonderful. So if at any point you're watching the stream and you like what you see, or you like the content, maybe you're learning something, or maybe you're just chilling out in the background, consider following. I'm trying to grow my following at the moment, and I'm sort of exploring different ways to market myself, because I'm finding in the art channel of Twitch, it's pretty hard to get noticed because there's so many people all the time who's actually streaming. And so my strategy is actually to sort of embrace maybe Instagram ads and try and do something like that. I've never tried that before, so maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Alternatively, I could try doing more collaborations with other streamers. That could be a thing. Let's go into this layer. We'll get rid of that. It's actually funny how much you draw that actually doesn't go into the final thing. I often wonder that. How many of the things that I draw actually don't wind up in the sketch at all? So I'm actually not strictly looking for any perfection here with the discs, if you couldn't tell. Maybe that was somewhat obvious. But yeah, with my style, I like to keep it a little bit loose. I don't want to strictly adhere to too much, I don't know, formality with my shapes or strictness. I like keeping them a little bit loose and a little bit wonky, because I think it makes it look just a little bit more, I don't know, fun? Is that the right word for it? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's go over here. We'll get rid of that. And then just to add a little bit more pizzazz to this little tentacle, I'm going to add some kind of, I don't know, I'm going to call them stretch marks. There's probably a better name for it. But it's sort of just to add maybe texture and a sense of just detail, really. It's not too much detail, but just enough to grab you, I suppose, your attention, maybe. Yeah, I like that. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, cool. I think that's a good start. With this tentacle here, I could do the exact same thing, or I could do something completely different. I'm tempted to do maybe a different shape. Maybe I could have it piercing like a square or something like that. Or I could have something growing out of the tentacle, like some fins, or, ooh, actually, you know what? Let's combine those two ideas. Let's have this particular vine. We'll merge these just for some transparency, for ease of management. But what we'll do with this vine, we'll sort of grow some fins on it. And so they're going to be square-shaped fins. So I'm going to go like this first. And this might take a bit of hacking here, so I'm going to have to hack and sculpt these things as we go. That's okay. And then we'll go like that. We'll just sort of keep going down. And let's see if we can make these a little bit more boxy, a little bit more rectangular. Let's see how we go there. And actually what I'll do, because my neck is already getting sore, my neck getting sore is actually the excuse I use to just shamelessly promote some of my stuff and some of the things that you can find with my brand. So what I'd love to show you is my website. So my website is mlloydartist.com, and here you can actually find everything that I do. So I don't just stream on Twitch. All of these Twitch streams actually get recorded and sent to YouTube. So if you press that big old live button, you can see pretty much all of my live streams that are sort of pre-recorded, which are kind of cool. So if I click that, not only does it give you a link to my Twitch, but it also gives you YouTube. So clicking that will actually show you all of the streams that I've previously done. And I'm really diligent with my thumbnails, so make sure you comment on how cool my thumbnails are. And I'll be super happy and super chuffed. You can find all sorts of things on my website. That's just one of them, and I'll probably share a few more of them as we go. But that's the first shameless promotion. My neck is stretched and I'm ready to crumple it up again as I, as I face my sketch, buckle down, and do some work. So I'm hoping to end this stream roughly after the 2 hour mark. I usually aim for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours of my streams. And the reason being is usually I have to get up in the morning like everyone else and just go to work. So hopefully I won't be too exhausted. Now, because I'm having trouble seeing what I'm drawing, I'm going to lower the opacity of this first layer. And I've realized that it's actually almost made it invisible on the capture. So if I'm turning it up just a bit, that might make it easier for you to see. There we go. And yeah, this just means I can actually see what I'm doing, because you might have noticed it was really hard for me to see this particular detail I was drawing there. Let's now, I'm going to try and make this look kind of cool, or at least look neat. There we go. And there's a truth that a lot of these are pretty rough sort of sketches. I usually polish up a lot of the lines and stuff later on, so like off stream. And because the plan is to eventually make this a poster that you could buy and put up in your room or your house. It's really cool. Yeah, I found a manufacturing partner I'm willing to try out. So I think they do really nice posters, and they seem to do like worldwide production. So no matter where you are, you can generally get a pretty quick delivery time. But it's actually high quality like prints as well, using really good ink and really cool paper. And high quality machines for printing, which is really cool. So hopefully that's true. And yeah. If this finishes, it might be a good piece. And you may be able to buy it. And what's cool about that is that eventually, not only will you have a piece on your wall, but you can actually see that piece being made, because all of these recordings are available. So it's kind of cool. You get the story and you get the artwork. I think that's neat. Let's remove that. So I'm just getting rid of the lines that wouldn't be visible, that would sort of be hidden by the squarish fin things. That's the problem with doing abstracts. You have to really invent your own kind of terminology. You can't just say, I'm drawing a nose or I'm drawing an eye. You have to sort of make it up. So I'll stick with squarish fin things and we'll see how that goes. There we go. So I finished playing Mafia 3. Really loved it. It's kind of funny. I remember thinking back to that game and not enjoying it much, but for some reason I just really dug it this time around. And I don't feel like reviewers were fair on it. I think it was a really cool game. And so I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy I played it again. It was cool. I'm now playing Mafia 2 for the first time. And that is, it's interesting. I think it's aged a bit, you know, like it's somewhat dated now, I feel like, especially the graphics and things like that. Maybe it's just because I've just finished playing Mafia 3, so as a result, it's yeah, it certainly pales in comparison on the graphical side of things. But I will say I really like the story. It seems like a really cool world, although at the moment it's really snowy. And I feel like snowy worlds with like older graphics always kind of look a bit lame. Maybe that's a controversial thought. I don't know. But I'm waiting for. I know it sort of brightens up eventually, so I'm looking forward to when that happens eventually. God, I'm struggling with this particular fin. Let's try moving it. I'll go like that. I'll rotate a bit. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That'll do. Let's get rid of that background line, just like so. And I might get rid of this as well, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, let's see how this looks now that when I eventually increase the background. How does that look? It doesn't look too bad. I feel like this is a bit of a mess. I'm tempted to maybe erase the blocks at these particular points because I feel like they just add a little bit too much mess. Yeah, I'll do that. I was being a little bit too ambitious, I think, by making that go in here. So I shall remove that. And I'll have these little cube things start around here. Oop. Let's repair that. So my goal whenever I do a DoodleBlob stream is always to try and finish the DoodleBlob before the end of the stream. And I haven't failed yet, but I don't know. I feel like I'm slowing down a bit with this one. So let's see if I can pick up the pace. Okay. Does this need to be a little bit thicker? I think it does. Yeah, let's widen this vine just a little bit. We'll do that in both layers. Yeah, that seems a bit more natural. Yeah. I think if I add some, sort of similar to what I did with the other vine, if I add these kind of lines going like that, it might help make a bit of sense, or it might make it look a little bit better. Let's find out. I don't think it's certainly not my best vine, I'll say that, but it's got something going for it. Yeah, let's do something here. So I think one of the biggest problems I have with this at the moment is this is a little bit too close to this major outline of the blob. And so as a result, I feel like I kind of need to push it out a bit. Let's have a look. Yeah, so what I'm going to need to do, I'm going to need to maybe just reconfigure this blob a little bit. So I'm going to add a new layer just so it's a little less destructive. I'm going to go like that. Now we're going to raise the internal line, and that should fix the problem I'm having with it. I might need to polish up the, there you go, I'll get rid of that. Might need to just quickly polish up that line again, or that vine, but we should be good to go. Cool. So it's an interesting start to this DoodleBlob, I will say that. But I think I like where it's gone. So what can I do now? I want to start a different part of the DoodleBlob. I want to try and move it in a different direction now. I'm going to merge a lot of these outlines just so it's more easily manageable, so I can start tidying it up a bit. But yeah, I feel like it's got a lot of organic elements. I think it's time to add something a little bit more, I don't know, blocky and shapy. So the question is what though? Let's try. Do I want to sort of cut into it maybe, like this? Let's try that. So I'm sort of adding these kind of vent sort of things. That's how I'm visualizing it. Let's see what it ends up looking like. There we go. That looks kind of weird. Let's go, we'll cut those in a bit, give that a bit of a trim. And then I'll also sort of smooth this out a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that looks a bit better. So what shall I do with these little cutouts I've just done? I'm still sort of, this is very improvised. I don't really feel like I have a strict idea with this one. Sometimes that's what you have to do. Sometimes you just have to sort of start drawing something and just let your instincts take you the rest of the way. Okay. My chair is getting more and more creaky every stream. It's something I've noticed. I'm thinking I should invest in a new one, shouldn't I? Eventually, my streams, the chair will take more priority in the audio, and it'll slowly drown me out. And maybe that's for the better. Maybe that's the best thing for this stream, for this channel. Maybe the chair should be the the host. Okay. So I'm thinking of doing something like this. I'm not sure. It's interesting. If I go like that. Or maybe I should get rid of this first and I'll make these a little bit more blocky, because that was sort of the original plan. It was to make add a sort of more blocky element to the actual mix. And I like how the lines are getting just a little bit tight in the middle there. Or yeah, I think that's kind of cool. It adds a bit of visual interest, a bit of tension. It's kind of neat. But then what I'll then do that idea I had before. I like this. I think it's cool. Don't ask me what it is, but I like it. It looks interesting. There we go. I'm thinking of whether or not I should add some sort of lines like this. Just with some texture, some detail. Not sold on this though. I could always increase this just a little bit. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of sort of line sculpting in this, I feel. I think I'm just rusty. I feel like I haven't sketched in ages, even though my last stream was only 2 weeks ago. But yeah. Usually these things have a habit of coming together. So you just have to sort of wait it out, see it through. So if you're watching this and you really like the idea of getting into Procreate yourself, I actually have a really cool educational course on Skillshare that you can sign up to. And using the link on my website, which I'll actually bring up a little shortcut here for you. Yeah, using this, you can actually get 1 month of Skillshare for free. So if you don't know what Skillshare is, it's basically a sort of an online platform where you can do lots of free courses. So I've got one called Create an Augmented Reality Sketch, which you're absolutely welcome to check out. And yeah, if you do this, if you actually scan that QR code, I get a little bonus as well. So it's a great way to support the channel without actually paying you for anything. And not only that, you get a huge library of educational videos for a whole month for free. Not just on sketching, but for things like marketing and photography and sculpture and all sorts of cool weird stuff. So check it out. That's on me, 1 month. And let's hop in back to our drawing here. There we go. And yeah, so in that little course I do, yeah, I sort of teach you how to use Procreate, a little bit like this. And I did that, I sort of made that course about a year ago, and it didn't get a lot of traction, I must admit. But yeah, it's actually pretty good. It's good at teaching you the basics. So things like quick shape and things like, I suppose, yeah, just sort of little techniques on how to sort of layer and sort of work with layers, I suppose. That in my opinion is the best thing. I do a really good job of doing that. I sort of teach you how to get the most out of layers, even though within this stream I've made a complete, I just completely forgot to use layers. In that Skillshare course, I do a good job of it. There we go. Okay. So I'm liking this. I think that's a nice little start to my DoodleBlob. It needs more stuff though, because that's what DoodleBlobs have. They have more stuff. And so what will I do? I'm thinking of doing like, what would you call it? Sort of like a, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Sort of like a terrace, if you think of like a rooftop. So I'm thinking of doing some kind of terrace here with like a few shapes, but I'm trying to think of what shape would I actually like to terrace this with. I usually do leaves. Leaves look really good when you've got that sort of terrace formation, but I'm thinking of actually doing like a circle again. Let's try it. First of all, let's set the boundary of our terrace. Let's go like this. And then what I'll do, you know what, I'll actually undo that and I'll create a new layer. Let's be less destructive. Very good. And actually, you know what, I'm going to have this sort of overlapping the terrace. I think that's going to be kind of cool. And wow, how should we do this? So I'll create a guiding layer first. So that's what this is going to be, a guiding layer. And I've never actually tried this technique before of a guiding layer for a terrace. But it could look really cool. So now that I've done that, I'm going to lower the opacity here once again. And I might lower it again just a little bit for this one. Now I can draw in this top layer and I can actually kind of see what I'm doing. And I realized once again, in the capture, it really does a poor job of actually showing the sketch. So I might turn it up just a little bit. I might lower that a tad as well. You don't really need to see that part as much as I do. Okay. So let's add a bunch of shapes. I'm sort of doing sort of like a scallop kind of shape. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I like that. And then I'm going to do that same thing on the layer underneath. I'll bridge those two together. I might actually make this one a bit smaller, because I want it to go like that. And I'm not really going for anything too uniform either. So I'm making it just a little bit more varied, I suppose. Let's go like that. We want to make it go a little bit more narrow on the side there. Yeah, I'm liking this. I think this could look kind of cool. It actually reminds me of like sort of armor, you know, like that sort of plate armor they have. I'm not sure if that's what they call it. It's sort of like leather armor. It kind of sort of has this kind of cool design. Yeah, but I like the feel of it. I think it's going to look really cool. I'm going to add some 3D elements to this as well, hopefully. But we'll see how that works first. And I'll do that on a separate layer. So there's no point drawing over here because that's something will be obscuring it. And what we'll do, I'll actually, just so I can get the line right. There we go. And then I'll erase this one. Cool. Wonderful. So what was I talking about? Yeah, I was talking about Mafia 2. So I really like it. It's a bit of a slow start. I'm at this mission at the moment where like I've just had to deliver, I don't know, like these weird stamps to a bunch of like petrol stations. And yeah, it's interesting. It kind of reminds me of most games that are made in that period, that sort of 2011 period. And it feels like a lot of sort of character and sort of heart went into them. There's a lot of things that are a little bit unpolished as well. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. I feel like the storyline's pretty cool. I feel like it's sort of building up characters at the moment. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm gonna go. I'm trying to redraw this particular scale. That's that's the word I'm looking for. Scale armor. Is that what they call it? Surely it is. I'm fairly certain I've heard that before. So if it doesn't look very good in a 3D form, I can also just I'll add another line to this guide here. There we go. I can also just add like maybe a pattern inside there to make it a bit more interesting. Because at the moment it's pretty simple. But I think eventually it'll end up looking pretty cool. And I'm just gonna wrap that around. Kind of looks like a flower on the top there, actually. I quite like that. I'll probably polish this one off a bit. Okay, so let's see what happens if I remove that. How's that looking? It's looking interesting. It's a very big, it's actually very big in proportion with the rest of the DoodleBlobs. It's a big element, so I better make it good. Let's find out. So now I'm kind of adding sort of an extra line, and you know what I should do? I should add this in a separate layer just in case. Might make it easier for me later on. Okay. I wonder what this is going to look like. This may absolutely fail because I feel like the 3D element of this is going to be a bit of a challenge because it's hard to see. Oh no, it might actually work. This might look okay. We'll soon find out. But yeah, it's a bit of an experiment for me. I don't think I've ever really tried this particular technique before of sort of trying to scaffold these kind of terrace these sort of 3D shapes like this. So I'm trying to craft them into 3D shapes after I've actually sketched it. I wonder if there's a better way of doing it. There's probably some artist out there who's got a way cooler technique of doing this than me. We'll soon find out. Cool. It certainly doesn't have a lot of uniformity what I'm drawing here. It's very sort of loosely done. And I'm definitely going to have to polish up this sketch a lot, maybe off stream. I don't do that on stream because it's just boring to watch. It's basically me sort of tidying up these lines like that and sort of, yeah, just trying to make it look somewhat presentable. But yeah, if you do want to see that, you're welcome to let me know, but I'll probably ignore you because just to save you the pain of watching me touch up some of these really rough sketches. But yeah, if I'm ever going to release this as a poster, it certainly needs just a little bit more attention to detail. There we go. Cool. I feel like I like where this is going. I think this is looking okay. It's certainly a bit rough and raw, but it's not. I'm kind of happy with it. I think it'll look a lot better when I add some color to it actually. Put that like that. Cool. Oh god, I need to stretch. The only disadvantage of drawing on an iPad is just like when you've got your neck down like this all the time, your neck can start to hurt. It's one of the main reasons actually I put ads in my stream. It's just so I can stretch my neck out. Okay, so let's see how this is looking in relation to everything else. So I shall bring back this layer here. I'm going to bring the opacity up, and I'll erase the actual outline. So I'll get, oh no, not like that. Let's go here. We'll get rid of that now. We'll see how it all looks in relation to the rest of this DoodleBlob. Cool. I kind of like it. I think it looks all right. I feel like something needs to be done here though. I feel that's just a little bit weird. I don't like how it's just sort of kind of flat on the top there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and I'm going to add maybe I'm going to probably grow something out of it, I reckon. I reckon that would be kind of fun. Let's try this. Yeah, it's super weird. Okay. And I'm just polishing this off just a little bit now. We'll see how this looks. I don't know. I kind of like it. It looks kind of interesting. Let's go like this one. And I'll just tidy up some of these lines. Not too much, but just enough. These two lines have been here the entire time and they're annoying the heck out of me, so I'm going to get rid of them. Oh God. My OCD is feeling a lot better now because of that. It's going to put my mind at ease. The whole sketch will get better from here because of that. Or maybe not. Cool. I think that's looking rather interesting. I like it. What should I do now with this DoodleBlob? I'm thinking I want to leave this sort of terrace of yeah, this terrace of scallops. I kind of want to leave it like that. I might even add some really funky colors to it to make it a bit more interesting. But for now, I think that's pretty good. And so we've actually been going for a good 49 minutes, which is pretty good. I might actually start trying to finish off the rest of the outline here. And that way we can move on to some color. So I might do something a little bit less three-dimensional here. I'll add some doodles to this a doodle to this DoodleBlob. So it's sort of like a slimy kind of pattern, which will probably make more sense when there's sort of color being added to it. But let's kind of wrap that slime around a bit. Not like that. I think that was a little bit too much. We'll try again. So what I'm thinking, I'm sort of making it a bit more patchy, if that makes sense. And in these little patches, I'll have some dots. There we go. There's something kind of relaxing about putting dots into a sketch. I don't know what it is. There we go. And now let's do the other one. I might actually check if I'm doing this in the right layer. I think I am. So I should be okay with this one. So I should be pretty non-destructive here. Awesome. I'm liking how this is going. I think this DoodleBlob will start looking pretty good. And what's great about this type of sketch is that if one DoodleBlob doesn't quite look as good as the others, the rest of the DoodleBlobs kind of lift up the weaker ones in a sense, because it's all going to be one big piece. So yeah, that's a cool thing about this particular style. Now I've got to figure out what to do with this side. So this side's a bit boring, and I want to add something more, I don't know, just a little bit more complex to it. I could just grow some more simple shapes out of it. You know what? I feel like I need some inspiration. Let's go to reference and let's find a cool image for me to get inspiration from. So this is actually, I often find going to your previous sketches is a great way of getting inspiration for sort of, I don't know, for things you're currently doing. So I might try, let's try this one. What are some cool things I did here? So I did a window in this one, which is kind of cool, but I did that in a different DoodleBlob as well. So I'll try something, I did 2 windows in this sketch. That's interesting. A hole with some slime pouring out. I don't think I've done that actually in this entire DoodleBlob series, so maybe that's worth exploring. I've got just a little pattern here, which is kind of neat. A stairway and some legs. I won't do the legs. I'm trying to avoid sort of figurative things that actually exist. I want to just build this purely out of sort of weird abstracts. I do like this chain of objects. I like that. I think that could be something which would be rather cool. You know what? I'm going to do that. I think that's what I'm going to explore. So I'm going to get rid of my reference image. And yeah, I think what I'll do, I'll just sort of start. I'll start adding maybe some, yeah, just some shapes to this overall image. So I'll go like that. And I might, yeah, I'll do this in a different layer. So let's merge a lot of these so they're easy to organize later on. And then it's time to take a drink. Very cool. Okay. So I'll probably take a little bit of a longer break in just 7 minutes. I'll go to an intermission. But yeah, from here, I'm going to start by, before I do that, I'm going to try and get some of the more intense part of my outline done. Okay, so here is a rectangle. And I do like the idea of the rectangle kind of wrapping around the object itself. So I'm going to try and create that kind of effect. Yeah, that kind of works. I'm not sure if I want to add the top of this rectangle. Maybe I could go like, we'll see what it looks like. See if it fits. You know what? Let's do it. Let's add the top of the rectangle. It's going to be a sort of twisted rectangle. Let's fix that up a bit. Oh, I realize I've kind of drawn that in 2 layers, but what the heck? That'll be fine. If I was more diligent, I'd fix it, but I don't know. I'm feeling a bit reckless today. There we go. Well, my pencil battery is getting low, which means I'll have to charge it soon. Probably good timing for my intermission. So I usually charge my pencil during my intermission. It's just a formality. Okay, now let's add an object to this. So let's go another layer. I'm thinking triangle because I think that's what I did before actually. But also not sold on the triangle yet. We'll see how it looks first. It's actually not going to be a strict triangle. You know what? I'll make it sort of like a wedge kind of shape like this. Yeah, this is a weird shape. Okay. And And what I'll do, I'll erase parts of the rectangle that would be hidden. And now this looks super weird. I'm feeling I want to put a pattern in there. Just a simple pattern like that. Try and make the lines a little bit more consistent because those lines weren't as thick as what was in the rectangle. I'm even thinking like what I could do. You know, I'm not liking the wedge. I think that's a bit weird. I'm going to get rid of that because I don't feel like it would actually go anywhere. So I'm going to remove that one. What I could do is just edit a little bit. So if I go like this, let's see what happens if I simply sort of cut off the end there. No, I don't like it. I'll get rid of it. Let's add, I can't just leave it like that. It's too simple. It's got to have something cool and intricate to it. I could just have a serial bunch of rectangles added along the side here. But at the same time, I think that would be kind of boring. Let's try growing a tentacle like I did before. Like that. So it's sort of melting a little bit. I kind of like that actually. Let's go to our rectangle. Let's get rid of the lines which would be hidden. Neat. Yeah, that's interesting. I like that. I might try and repeat this theme a bit. So I'll have a few more rectangles that are melting. The question, of course, is where do I put these rectangles? Should I have them? Is that too much? Yeah, that's too much. Let's get rid of that. And I might get rid of this line actually. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. I'm running out of water here, so, and my voice has been really croaky today. I've done a lot of talking, so I achieved something really amazing today, but I sort of mentioned it earlier in the stream, but I'm not allowed to say what it is because it's too personal. It gives away too much information. So, but I'm super happy about it. I'm elated, in fact, and yeah, I just have. But it has had an effect on my voice. So, little Lloydie isn't always this croaky. Okay, that's that. Let's try doing another rectangle. I might put the rectangle a little bit lower. In fact, what I could do, I could have it right at the bottom here. Is this in a separate layer? It is. Good. I shall see what it looks like when I slowly remove, or slowly sort of carve into this outline here. It's not bad. Yeah, it feels like a quieter night on my streams. I usually have a few more people in the chat than no one. But maybe it's just because I'm streaming on a Saturday night. There's so many people in the room that might in the sort of category. But yeah, I'm sort of experimenting with different nights, and I think I might avoid Saturdays. It might be just a lot of people on at this particular time. And it's funny, you'd think that would actually mean you'd get more people, but it doesn't. For anyone who knows, or for anyone who doesn't know, yeah, essentially with the art category, because there's so many artists out there, if you don't have any streamers, or if you're not as big as some of the other players out there, it's hard to really get noticed because you're sort of right at the very bottom of the page, and no one would scroll that low because there's so many people that they would have to scroll past. So I'm sort of struggling to compete with people in that sense. Let's go over here. So I'm adding just a little bit more, a little bit of texture to these lines. And let's add a little bit more texture to this shape actually. I'm thinking what I should do. I should get rid of this bottom here. I think that's what was annoying me before. I think once I do this, it'll look a lot better. I'll slowly cut that line in a little bit more finely. Let's see how I feel about this. Yeah, I don't mind that. I think that looks kind of interesting. We got Chicken Rick. Heyo, Mayo, what's up? Well, that's an awesome introduction, Chicken Rick. I love it. I'm good, man. How are you? I hope you like my weird sketch here. I'm drawing what I call DoodleBlobs. That's where I essentially draw a blob and then I doodle inside it. So it looks really complex and weird. But yeah, how are you? What have you been up to? How'd you find me? I'm a pretty obscure artist on Twitch, so it can be pretty hard to find little Lloydie. Awesome. It's also an amazing name, by the way, Chicken Rick. I hope it's a reference to Rick and Morty because I kind of love that show. I love it. Your shading is done quite uniquely and it looks great. Oh, you're too kind. Shucks. Thank you. Yeah, it's actually a small part of a bigger piece. So the idea actually is, yeah, it's actually eventually going to be a poster. So my current progress on this poster is this one. So I've actually done each sort of DoodleBlob stream. I try to do one every Friday night, although it is Saturday night. And this is actually to make up for the stream I didn't do yesterday. And basically, yeah, each stream I do kind of one blob and I fill it in with lots of color and try to make it really cool and funky. And yeah, it's coming along. It's getting there. Hopefully I'll start adding color to this one. I'm sort of struggling to think of what I'm going to add to this section here. So I'm flattered, by the way, and it is a Rick and Morty reference. Fantastic. Also, I found you by scrolling through heaps of streams until I found something that caught my eye. Well, I'm glad you think, I'm glad my stuff caught your eye. That is flattering as well. So I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, awesome. Do you do stuff yourself? Are you an artist, or do you enjoy just the fun of sort of watching other artists? Because there are some really cool people on Twitch. I sort of started watching a lot of artists myself, and there's some really amazing talent out there. It's just impressive. There we go. Okay, what am I going to do here? I think I need to add something. What should I do? I'll probably continue this theme of like the blocks melting. I think that's a cool thing. I might do that on the other side. I'll sort of invert it a bit. Let's add a new layer. So just in case this looks awful. Because sometimes it does. Sometimes my sketches are a bit of trial and error, I will admit. Very cool. Let's try, yeah, let's go like this. We'll build the rectangle and then we'll have it sort of cutting in, or the shape actually cutting into the rectangle. I kind of just doodle basic characters, but I do enjoy it. If no one's on the Discord, I find a stream to watch at the same time. Oh, that's cool. That's a great idea. Yeah, do you have a Twitch channel? Because you're welcome to sort of put it in the chat, and I'll give you a follow, because I'm always curious to discover new people. It's interesting seeing what other people do. There's so many different art styles out there. Like one thing I've enjoyed doing, because at the moment, like my state is currently in a state of lockdown, and so one thing I've found really enjoyable is actually just exploring Instagram, like delving into people's into artists' profiles and seeing all the other artists that follow them. and you find some really cool people. It's fascinating how much talent there is out there. Let's get rid of this. I'm struggling to keep track of my layers at this point. Let's go like that. Very cool. I doubt you're an amateur artist. I think I'm an amateur artist. I think every artist out there, or at least 90% of them, think that they're amateur artists when they're actually pretty good. Let's go like this. We'll get rid of that. Let's go like that. Do you doodle like cartoons, or do you sort of what do you do? Weird stuff like me. I think I would call myself an abstract artist. I don't really draw people or animals or sort of architecture or anything like that. I pretty much just draw shapes and I don't know, patterns really. I don't have a Twitch, but I do have an Insta. Oh, cool. You should follow me, man, and I can follow you back. I think my Insta's in the About Me thing, so you're welcome to check that out. Yeah, because I love seeing the art that my followers make. I find that the majority of my followers on Twitch are actually artists, and they're really talented. It's really cool. It's good to see. So yeah, you're welcome to follow me, and that way I can easily find you. Let's go like this. Awesome. So I might melt this square like that. Very cool. I'd love to ask Chicken Rick, whereabouts in the world are you from? I'm from the Aussie land. You could probably tell from my weird accent, but maybe you're from the Aussie land. I doodle just whatever. They're pretty basic, but I find it a lot of fun. It's mainly for my friends to see what I'm up to, but new people are always welcome. Yeah, I'll try and find you. Yeah, I'm very curious now. Very curious. Do you do sort of like fan art? Because I feel like that's really popular on Twitch as well. A lot of people like draw like superheroes and anime and that kind of thing. I've never really been into that myself, but I do find it really. Chicken Rick 2 is my Insta. I like it. You keep it consistent. That's what I try to do. I'll follow you, dude, and I'll comment on your artwork. I promise I'll say only good things. This is kind of interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about this particular square here. I feel like this line is a little bit too dominant. So I'm going to cut that out and I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to see what it looks like if I get rid of it. I'm flattered, by the way, that your art took your eye, and you're here. That's really cool. I always try to do something a little bit different to what everyone else does. That's kind of my thing. And you're right. I'm kind of the same as you, man. I just enjoy the heck out of this. There's something really fun about creating things. Let's go like that. So I sort of said I would finish the line by now, but also I'm Melburnian as well, to answer your question. Yeah, it's funny. Why are all my followers from Melbourne? That's maybe it's because I stream at this time, and at this time zone, everyone's just looking for something cool to chill out to. But I'm doing what I can to get through. Like, yeah, true, fair enough, dude. Like, I think this is one of the best things you can do. I feel like because I'm somewhat creative, I've somewhat reveled a little bit in this lockdown, where I can totally understand why people struggle though. Like, especially if you don't consider yourself creative. And if you are one of those people, I'd sort of always recommend that you just try it out and see, because sometimes people sort of, I don't know, they there's a truth that a lot of people could be really amazing artists if they just gave it a shot, and I think they'd find something they'd enjoy. But yeah, I think artists tend to really love lockdown in many ways. They don't really love it, but maybe they survive better in it. Maybe that's the way to put it, because they've got all their passions they can kind of entertain themselves with. That's certainly my experience. Let's go like this. I wasn't liking the lines on this side for some reason, so I might get rid of that. I feel like I just need one more thing, and I can't quite figure out what it is. What I might do, I might take, no, I won't take a quick break. I'll wait it out a little bit longer. But I feel like I need one more thing just in this particular part of the DoodleBlob. It's kind of annoying me, and I can't quite figure out what to do. And I might even actually make this a little bit more like the others. There we go. What should I do in that area? To me, sketching's always been a little bit like a puzzle, especially these kind of things. So you'll probably notice that more when I start doing colors later, but it's always about trying to mix sort of like contrasting elements with each other. So yeah, I actually like that texture. I might incorporate that a bit more. What should I do? Let's try. God, I'm so confused. What do I do in this area? I'm just going to start randomly drawing and see if I like anything that I do. You know what? I'm going to draw a random arch. Let's see if this looks cool. Oh no, you know what? I've got a good idea now. I'm going to go like, I'm going to add another one. I said it's a good idea. It could be a terrible idea. We're venturing into uncharted territory here, Chicken Rick. Let's have a look. I might do one more little loopy thing. And let's see how this looks. So I'm going to get rid of the background outline. There we go. I think I've got rid of a little bit too much there actually. So I'll quickly fill that bit in. There we go. You know what? I like that. I think that's just interesting enough. Your Insta's awesome. Oh, thank you, man. That's really kind of you. Oh yeah, that one. I call those, I call them augmented reality sketches. So fun fact, if you're on my Instagram, a lot of those like little photos where I draw on top like characters and little things, I actually have a Skillshare. No kidding, this is just me randomly promoting myself here for a second. But yeah, I have a little Skillshare course, and you can actually learn how to make these things just like you see on my Instagram. So they're called augmented reality sketches, and it's basically just drawing on top of photos, but you kind of have to try and get the shadow sort of the same as what's in the photo, which is kind of challenging. So it's a bit of fun actually though. If you're curious of learning how to use Procreate, it's actually good for that as well. And that QR code gives you like a free month of Skillshare, which is kind of cool. And if you scan that, I get $10. So it's actually a cool little cool way to support. But yeah, feel free to check it out. Yeah, I do enjoy those augmented reality sketches. They're a lot of fun. One of my favorite parts about it is actually making the little captions underneath. That's fun too. I probably spend more time making those little captions than I do actually making the artwork itself. I should do more of those on stream actually. I really should. You've inspired me, dude. Maybe I'll do that. Because they probably have the most, I think, how would I put it? They have probably the most appeal, I think, of most of the content on my Instagram actually. So that's pretty cool. Awesome. So I think it's coming time where I'm about to color this in. So I'll probably, in a few moments, I'll need to quickly go to an intermission simply so that I can refill my drink and also charge my pencil. I think this is running low. But what I'll do, I'll get started coloring this in. And so that I'm getting a good sort of color palette, I want to make sure I'm doing this with good respect to all the other colors here. Let me just ask, how do you get the frame of the trolley in front of the drawing? Oh my god, that particular one was really difficult to do. I'll see if I can find it. Let's have a look. We'll get rid of that. Bear with me 2 seconds, and to explain kind of what Chicken Rick is talking about here, I'll bring up the photo. So this photo here, let's see if I can make this actually look good. It might not, because it's probably a bit too bright. There we go. Yeah, cool. So this is really hard. So this sketch here is an augmented reality sketch, and to get the trolley in front of that little character, I had to painstakingly get a really fine eraser and erase all of the character that would have sat behind the trolley. So it took me a lot of time. The hardest, probably the trick there, is to actually lower the opacity of the yellow character there, so that you can actually see the frame. And I actually cover that in the course, actually. So if you're curious, you're welcome to check it out. The course, I do a much better job of describing it. But yeah, that's actually one of my favorites. It's sort of like a mother and child go shopping. You'll find more of that stuff on my Instagram. That's at mlloydartist. You should be able to find a link in my about section. And you can also find a link in my website as well. So mlloydartist.com. But yeah, that's a good one. Good question. That took me ages to do that one. And it really was just a matter of, yeah, really just taking my time and like really getting a fine eraser and just erasing the, yeah, that background bit by bit. So it was interesting. But yeah, I'm glad you like it, because that was one of my prouder augmented reality sketches. So yeah, thank you for that feedback, Chicken Rick. So the reason I'm looking at this sketch is simply so I can try and figure out which color I'm going to make this. So I've got purple, yellow, I've got a sort of turquoise tealy one. I think I want to touch more on a sort of deeper blue, maybe. So maybe something similar to that. So I'm thinking what I'll do, I'll go back to the DoodleBlob we're currently working on. This one over here. There you go. Yeah, you know what? Now that I've sort of, now that I stepped back from that DoodleBlob, I'm actually kind of liking it a bit more. So I'm glad I did that. Let's merge these outlines together. And a lot of these lines are a little bit rough, I will admit. But what I usually do is I tend to polish them up off stream, because that stuff's really boring. I don't think my viewers really want to watch that. But yeah, what I'll do, I'll switch this to, let's get rid of that blue. Let's go reference. So when you make your outline the reference layer, it means that when you start filling colors in the color layers, it'll actually all reference that outline layer. So it sort of speeds things up a bit for you. A cool pro tip. What I shall do now, I'll use alpha lock. I'm going to simply swipe to the right on that one. And then I shall go to a lighter color. And I shall, should I do it on the outside? I might do that. I'll do it this way. So it doesn't have to be too perfect, this one, because what I'm going to do anyway, I'm just going to blur in this color, make it a little bit more natural. There we go. Cool. I need to stretch. My God. I'll probably cut to an intermission very shortly, just so I can stretch my stretch my neck. Stretch my neck, is that the right terminology? I don't know. I have no idea. But more than anything, it's to make sure my Apple Pencil doesn't run out of charge. That's the true dictator of my breaks and my schedule is my Apple Pencil. Its battery isn't as good as it used to be, but it's still holding strong. So I'll go easy on it. Oh, no, let's go over here. Let's switch off alpha lock. Let's get that lighter tone in. We'll go like that. Oop. There we go. So I'm thinking a nice blue here. I feel like the capture doesn't bring it up quite as well as I would have hoped. And I'm feeling like I want to sort of play around with these primary colors. So if I go to a nice sort of red here, I feel like that might look pretty cool. And I'll play around with the red in maybe this part. Okay, so let's start filling in the terrace here. Awesome. I might just color this in, because if I color drop all of the red into each one of these little scaffold? I keep calling them scaffolds. If I color drop all of the color into this, I'll eventually sort of, it'll just take me ages, so it's better just to paint over it and then sort of get the color in, sort of get some of the darker and lighter tones in sort of afterwards. We got Dr. O in the chat. It's good to see you, my friend. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm liking this actually. This is looking interesting. Yeah, I'm unsure of this color actually. I'm starting to think maybe the red was a little bit too bold. But what do you think, man? I do like the outline of it. I'm thinking once I sort of get the colors in for maybe these extra sort of vines and things, that might look pretty cool as well. But we'll soon see. We'll soon see. Let's get a darker red in here, just like that. We'll blur that in. Yeah, so it's kind of weird. I'm streaming on a Saturday night, which I've never done before. I had a really big event thing that I had to go to this morning, and I'm glad to say I was actually successful in that event. I won't say what it is on stream, but it's a pretty big deal. And so I wanted to have a good night's sleep before I did that. And if I'm going to speak in code here, Dr. O, what you did in Nuttawadding, I've just done, but in a different place. So I'm pretty chuffed about it. Super cool. I like actually the darker red there. I'll definitely add a bit more shadow and a bit more light, maybe in these sort of sides. Yeah, thank you. I'm super proud, and it's amazing. Like, yeah, I won't say anything more just because I'm worried about this going on stream. But maybe I'll message you later and share like the actual, yeah, maybe I'll show you what it looks like, because it's super cool. It's so cool. But yeah, yeah, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. It's really hard not actually talking about it on stream, because that's like the only thing I've done today as well, is just sort of organize that. But yeah, I'm super pumped and super happy, and oh god, I'm so excited. Feels a bit weird though, I will admit. Cool. So I'm actually going to switch to an intermission, I think, just in a few moments. You know what, I think I might even do it right now, because I do need to refill, and I really should charge my pencil. So ladies and gentlemen, I will be back shortly. Enjoy the intermission. My intermission contains music made by none other than myself. I think I played the first intermission music last time. I'll do a different collection of music this time. But yeah, I'll be back shortly, and I look forward to finishing off this sketch and filling in some more color. And hang tight, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll soon see the completion of the 5th DoodleBlob. The 5th is always a really special DoodleBlob for obvious reasons, and I'm sure you all know that. And yeah, let's get started. So I'll go to intermission, and I'll see you soon. Hello, I am back, and thank you for the follow, Chicken Rick. Glad to have you on board. And it's actually funny. That marks 25 followers, which is pretty cool. I'm now halfway to affiliate. I still don't really know what affiliate is, to be honest. I'm such a boomer, but yeah, essentially, super grateful. Thank you for the follow, and I can't wait to see you in more streams. I haven't actually seen your artwork yet. I gave you a follow so that I'll find you easier soon. But I'll definitely comment on your stuff. I haven't looked at it yet. I'm super excited to see it. I really am. It's cool seeing other people's stuff. I've always enjoyed it. Okay, what colors am I gonna do here? I feel like I need some green. I feel like green would be a good color for this, so I'm gonna put some of that in there. Let's go like this. Nah, that's lame. Let's try doing that properly. Wonderful. So what have people been up to? Like, I haven't really been up to much. I've been basically sketching, and I've been doing. What else have I been doing? I've been playing games. So I've been playing Mafia 3. I actually finished Mafia 3 again, which I really liked. So I thought that was really cool. And now I'm on to Mafia 2. I enjoyed the heck out of that. Well, I'm starting to enjoy the heck out of that. It's pretty cool. I like the feel of it. It's kind of reminds me of like watching The Godfather. You know, it's such a cool feeling, that game. But yeah, what has everyone else been up to? What are they doing? Let's have a look. I'm not sure if I like green actually on this. I might play around with color palettes here. So I'm going to go layer. I'm going to go hue. Let's zoom out so I can get a good overview of how these colors all work and fit together. Maybe pink. Ah, no, there's too much pink in this one. I feel like I'm onto something with the green. Maybe making it a bit more vibrant. Yeah, that looks a bit better. I just finished Ghost of... Oh my god, Ghost of... I can't remember how to pronounce it. Ghost of Tsushima is bloody amazing. I love that game. And I really did not think that I would enjoy that, by the way, because it's like... The reason I didn't like it, because I've never really been into that whole sort of samurai kind of stuff. But yeah, and also it was made by a developer. I think was it like Sucker Punch or something. And I never really liked their previous games either. But I bought it because all the reviews were like raving about it, and so I thought, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I absolutely adored it. Yeah, it's got to be one of the best. Yeah, you're right. One of the best PS exclusives that's come out for a while, I think. I reckon you're onto something there with that bold claim. But I really enjoyed the combat mechanics of it. I thought that was really cool. It was just a lot of fun, and it's kind of funny. It's a better Assassin's Creed game than like Assassin's Creed has been in a long time. And it had a good storyline. It's cool. It's funny. Like, you forget how much a good storyline is worth in a video game until you actually get one. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. Because yeah, I hope they do have like sequels to it. Had good voice acting as well. I thought really believable kind of voice acting. Let's pop that in. There we go. Let's see if this green works. It might not. I might have to sort of swap this color out. Okay. And I'm a little bit confused about what I'll do here. I'm thinking of going yellow, actually. A similar color to what I had over here, maybe. Sort of like a nice orange. Chicken Rick says, I enjoy how the storyline was not completely black and white. You didn't always know who was in the right or wrong. Yeah, and I won't spoil the ending for anyone else who hasn't played it, but I thought the ending was fantastic. Because it really kind of played on that in a way. Yeah, I love that game, and I'm looking forward to playing it again. It's one of those games I'm not going to play for ages, simply so that I can forget it and then try and enjoy it as if it was the first time. I kind of did that a couple of months ago with Mass Effect. So like, I hadn't played that game in years, and I'd sort of done that on purpose because I knew that when I eventually did get back around to playing it, I would just enjoy the heck out of it even more. So yeah, I probably won't be playing Ghost of Tsushima for a while, but I can't wait for the day that I do. It's such a good game. And I agree, yeah, got to be one of the best exclusives that's come out in years, for sure. I'm actually really oh, did you attempt the collectathon side of it? No, I actually didn't. I've never been big into the sort of collecting side of games, but not to. I think it's cool that when games include it though, because there are a lot of people who are really into that. But yeah, I don't know. What was it like? Is it any good? Like, I can't remember what you actually collect, to be honest. I can't remember what it is they actually make you go on hunts for, but I remember chasing foxes. Is that kind of what it is, or is it something a little bit more intricate? Let's go like this. I might add a little bit of pink in here actually, and I might. You know what? I will try putting a yellow in this segment over here, and I'll add another layer for the yellow. I genuinely believe this game has the best collectibles of any game. Besides, Mario Odyssey is another game I haven't played, and everyone says amazing things about it. I've got to get on it. I've got to get a Switch. That's on my to-do list. I'll have to buy a Switch one day. When I earn the money, I'll buy a Switch. But yeah, that's interesting. Maybe I'll try that, because I can't remember what collectibles there was in it. But yeah, you've inspired me. Maybe I'll try that out, for sure. I just remember I loved the combat mechanics. I thought that was super fun, especially I can't remember what they called them. Was it like Ronins or something? And like every now and then you'd come across some like really cool like samurai kind of person. Fox shrines, samurai shrines, masks, headbands, hot springs. Oh, the hot springs, I remember that. And you had to come up with like a haiku or something. Was there any like skill to the haikus? I never really quite figured that out. I often wondered like if I was compiling these haikus in the wrong order, and as a result wasn't actually getting any reward from it. Or maybe that was just a creative flair. I'm not sure, but no skill, just fine. Good. That's good. That puts my mind at ease. It puts me at peace. But I also loved the art style of that game. I feel like, honestly, if you want to win me over with video games, just put in a good art style. That's pretty much it. Like my favorite game of all time, and like people who watch this stream are probably sick of me going on about it, but it's actually the Dishonored franchise. Like, I love those games. They're so good. Just the look of it makes it, and just the vibe of the game actually. This sort of weird, grimy kind of plague-ridden city, and it's so cool. That game is amazing. I've played it like hundreds of times. If you haven't, I totally recommend it. You'd love it. Let's go into, I'm thinking of going a sort of pinkish kind of color here actually. Let's go like that. Let's see how this works. It might not work very well. I don't know. No, I don't like it actually. That didn't take long. Let's go like that. God, that's the stealth game. Yeah, it is actually. It's interesting. You can play it either way. You can play it as a stealth game, but you can also play it with a sort of focus on action. So a lot of people will play it as a stealth game in one run through, but in the next run through they'll kind of try playing it as sort of like an action game, because it's really customizable in the way you play it. Like one moment you can play it with like superpowers, one minute you can play it without it. Yeah, it's fascinating. Like if you've only ever played it once, I recommend playing it a second time, because that's when it really gets good. When you sort of try to do all these different things you'd never done before. That's my opinion anyway. I might add some pinkish things on these cylinders actually. I think that's what's missing. It's missing, if I add the color here, something a bit more vibrant that sort of sticks out from the blue, I think that might really improve the overall color. Let's try that. Awesome. Yeah, you know what? I think this is a good decision. Going the pink and the green together, I like that. I think that looks really cool. A part of me is actually tempted to try maybe having a bit of pink. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to see how it looks. I'm going to go to, yeah, what I'll do, I'll go like this. And I might try maybe just blending the color in with the green. So smudging it in. I think that might look kind of cool. Let's try this. So if I grab the smudge tool and I'll make it a little bit finer, but then I'll kind of go like this and we'll see how this looks. It might look really weird. But then that's a pretty common thing of my art style. My art style generally is weird. So that's probably fine. Okay. I liked it before I started smudging too far into it. Let's get out of that. Do I like that purple? That's a tough one. It does look a lot better in IRL than it does like what you're seeing in the capture. So hopefully, especially the yellow, because what you're probably not seeing is that there's actually a really nice orange kind of gradient here, which kind of makes it, sort of balances it out a bit. If I make this a bit more manual, you might be able to see it. Let's have a go. Yeah, I'll turn down the brightness. Undo the magic of the digital medium. Oh, indeed, yeah. Undo is the greatest thing since sliced bread, really. My God. Whoever invented undo in tech, you know, that person deserves a medal. I think there was like a guy who invented like copy and paste, and I think he recently died, sadly, which is a sad truth. But surely there's someone out there who's sort of come up with undo. Yeah, but it is one of the best things, right? Like, and I love Procreate's version of undo. You just basically tap 2 fingers, and that's really cool. Undo the magic of the digital medium. Honestly, that comment was very truth. Very true. Okay, let's color that in. What else do I need to do with this sketch? I will actually add a bit more shading, I think, to this particular sort of terrace thing I'm doing over here. I think that'll make it look a bit better. And I'm a little bit unsure of what I want to be on the sort of underlay of this sort of a comb thing. So we'll see what we'll do there. But you know, so far I'm kind of liking this. I think it's going to be a good addition to the DoodleBlobs. It's not the best DoodleBlob, but it's okay. It'll do the job. I'm actually wondering if I should just keep this one green. We'll try it in purple. We'll see what it looks like. Yeah, undo, it just gives you that amazing ability to just trial and error. And it's such a wonderful thing to be able to do in art. It's one of the reasons why I would be terrible at like actual drawing in real life. There's actually a truth. I kid you not. It was kind of embarrassing actually. I was just sort of sketching on some newspaper like about a week or 2 ago, and I was just just a biro pen, just drawing on the newspaper, and I kid you not, just out of instinct, I did the 2-finger tap to undo. And I was like, hey, why isn't this working? It was so, that's how like instinctive that gesture has become to me. It's kind of funny, but that's certainly a thing. Let's go like that. Yeah, I kind of like it. I think it's okay. I think if I add a darker purple to these sort of pink shapes here, it will at the very least make it look a little nicer, I think. Let's go like that. It's like when you see those toddlers swiping the images in book. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, that is literally me now. It's a sad reality, but I've become I've become like a toddler. Um, is that actually a thing though? Do toddlers actually do that? I've never actually seen it yet, but I've got like a young niece, and I'm suspecting that's probably what she's going to end up like. Although my parents are pretty good, not my parents, my brother is are pretty good parents in the sense that I think they're trying to restrict that stuff a little bit as she grows older, or through her sort of formative years. Um, so I'm going to add a little bit of darker purple here. I might add a little bit more in that area. There we go. Awesome. I think it's reached that point where I'm sort of losing my mind a little bit, and so I'll definitely have to touch up some of these colors and lines off stream, I think, before I post, before I sort of finish this. But I like at least the design of this. I think it's going to come together eventually. Once I polish it up, it'll look quite nice. Likely just a few in viral videos. Hopefully, yeah, I hope it's not a common thing. I really hope that toddlers swiping up in books is not going to be like the new thing. Probably won't matter though, in all honesty. I remember when I was in school, people used to make such a big deal of like handwriting, you know. And my mother, who is actually also a teacher, she would say year after year that handwriting and like polished looking handwriting is just one of the most least important things you can possibly learn in this day and age. But for some reason, a lot of conservative teachers out there are still doing it. And I kind of agree with her. I can't help but feel like handwriting is just one of those things. You should be able to do it, but like not, you really shouldn't care too much about how pretty it looks. You know, I feel like handwriting should just be, if you can do a doctor's scrawl, I think that's good enough. I think maybe that's a controversial thought. Sorry to all those calligraphy artists watching who are offended by that. Dr. O says, I saw a tweet and someone didn't know what a CD was. Now I know I am old. Yeah, dude, I've seen that myself. There was actually a person I met, I think it's Z, I don't know what generation it is, like Z Gen or something, but yeah, they were basically like, what's a CD player? You know those little things we used to have, like little disc players. You'd pop the CD in, you'd have your headphones, like before there were iPods, you know. I was describing that to this person, and they were like, wait, that was a thing that existed? And I was like, yeah, of course it was. I used to love those things. They were cool. And they had so many different brands of that style of like portable CD player that there was all these really cool funky like hardware designs as well. It was a really cool time. A cool time in tech, if I say so myself. Let's go like that. I'll finish getting some of this blue in, I think, because this little section's kind of, my OCD is getting the better of me. This blue needs to be filled. Wonderful. There we go. Cool. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this. I think it's getting a bit better. I'm still really confused as to what to put in this color here, in this little underlay section. I'm thinking a softer pink might look kind of cool, so I'll give that a shot. But it might look awful. Let's find out. Let's find out together. I don't know. I can't quite decide on that one. You know what? Let's cheat. Let's go to the hue, saturation, and brightness thing, and let's try playing with a few different colors. Oh, that teal actually doesn't look too bad. That's not bad at all. Let's try a few more. Green. That's kind of cool because it kind of matches the green that I was doing before. I might make it a little bit more leaning towards the blue. So in terms of gadgets, wow, we evolved. I'm only 20 years. In only 20 years. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, I still remember seeing the first iPod and like going just bonkers over it. I thought it was such a cool thing. And now, like, you look at phones that are being released and iPads, and it's just fascinating. It's fascinating how much they've come a long way. And a lot of people say it's all slowing down because, you know, the rate of development and innovation can't continue at that speed it used to. But you know what? Like, I don't think so. I think, honestly, I think some sort of products are starting to sort of slow down in their development, but I reckon there's maybe newer ones on the horizon which are really exciting. And maybe we're just not privy to them yet. But it's so many. Tech's fascinating. You can spend years sort of studying it and looking at the history of it, and it's really cool. Let's go like this. I'm one of those weirdos who watches a lot of tech podcasts because I just find I find like the industries like really fascinating in how they all work and function. It's really cool. Let's go like that. Let's blur that in. Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely a little bit scrappier with this drawing today. Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, I just haven't been as diligent with my lines or my colors. I'm sort of going all over the place a little bit here. I might go a darker blue with this hole here because that's kind of annoying me for some reason. There we go. And I might change that to an orange now that I've seen it because I think that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, that kind of works. I'm actually not liking the red now that I've sort of added all this pink and green. So I'm actually thinking of maybe slightly changing it. Thank God for hue, saturation, and brightness. I agree. It's slowing down in terms of mobile phones, at least, even personal computers. The iPhone change may have seemed very minimal in recent years. Yeah, I agree, man. Like, but you know, it's actually a good thing, I think, because it means you don't have to sort of upgrade often to get like big changes. Like, you can sort of upgrade every like 4 or 5 years, and you'll see a lot of those changes come over time. And I think that's probably better for the environment, to be honest. We shouldn't really be buying tech too frequently. So I think it's good that it's slowing down. There's always a negative to every positive, I suppose. Let's get rid of this blue there. That's also annoying me. And we'll get rid of this green. You know, I like this. I think changing this to a pink is actually really cool. Yeah, I'm glad you agree, man, because yeah, sometimes it's easy to sometimes be disappointed, I think, by the slowing development of things. But yeah, I think there's always that benefit that, you know, what I love about phones now is that they tend to last ages. They never used to. They used to like really like only last a couple of years, right? But now they tend to last a long time, and I think that's something that always gets sort of undershadowed a little bit. Oh, you recently went, wow, that's an upgrade, dude. Like, that display size would be, God, you'd feel like a god. Going from that change. Going from a 4 to a 10 is a crazy one, dude. But good on you. Like, sticking with that 4 for as long as you did, because, you know, like, yeah, I admire that. I admire that sort of persistence with older tech. I think that shows a level of maturity that maybe some people don't have, where they just upgrade all the time. So good for you, dude. I'm impressed. I admire that. I'm certainly not as diligent as you, I will say that. I needed a lot of new pants. All the pockets were too small. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, cool. Because that 4 was really small, wasn't it? It was a really small device, but God, it was a good one. I definitely agree with that. Very cool. You know, I'm actually really liking this now that I've added the sort of lighter tones on this sort of 3D part of the terrace. I think that looks really nice. And now it's time to add some darker tones to sort of really try and get this shadow, the sense of sort of shadow and light in. So let's do that. And I might even improve these off stream a little bit as well, because it might be a bit boring. But yeah, I'm liking the sketch. I'm liking the way it's starting to come out. I think changing this to a sort of purple color looks a lot better. The red was just a little bit too dominating, a little bit too strong. And the main reason I was hesitant towards doing that was actually because there's a lot of pink and purple in some of the other DoodleBlobs, so I was worried that it might have overdone it a little bit, but yeah, no, I think it kind of works actually. Sometimes you just got to try things and you'd be surprised what works. Cool, well that's one thing. There's a truth that what I'll do with this, I will grab this color here. Ooh, there we go. I'm going to use a cool trick called Alpha Lock. If you've never tried this before, it's really cool. So by switching that into Alpha Lock, I can actually just quickly color in all of these little strokes. So if I highlight that, what it means is I can actually just go like this and it colors in things without sort of going outside of it in a way. It's the coolest thing. Even works with blur. So if I go to blur, I can actually blur this sort of gradient into this a little bit. And I'll do the same here. I'll go to a slightly lighter tone and I'll blur that up as well. Create a bit of a gradient. Oh, it's just started raining where I am, which is good because I probably should get to sleep soon. Loving the stream, but I got to head off. Next time I get the chance, I'll be back on. Dude, thank you for following, and I've enjoyed our conversations, man. I can't wait to check out your sketches. Or your illustrations. I haven't checked them out yet, so I can assure you the next thing I do when I finish this stream, I'll be hunting for your sketches and seeing what you do, because I'm always curious, man. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you when you next view. Really cool. Have a wonderful night. Enjoy it. It's been a pleasure. Okay, so let's move on to this blue section over here. Let's go over like that. We'll fill that in. Really cool. Yeah, you know what I need to do? I need to get this lighter blue and just go like that. Really sort of help highlight some of those tentacles a little bit. There we go. Oop, let's go Alpha Lock again so we don't blur the heck out of these things. So now I've reached the point where I'm doing these little loopy things, and I'm sort of curious if maybe I should try a different color with them. I'm liking them remaining blue, but there's also a lot of blue in this DoodleBlob, so I'm thinking maybe if I try... Oh, Chicken Rick. My page is Beginner's Take on Art, but I still really enjoy it. Dude, I can't wait to see it. I'm sure you're better than you claim to be, so I'll be definitely checking it out. Have a good night, man, and I look forward to seeing you in future streams, for sure. Let's go to a lighter blue, and I shall add that light just on the side there, because that's kind of that's where I imagine the light coming from in this DoodleBlob. So I'll go like that. There we go. There we go. Awesome. There we go. Yeah, I'm liking the way this is looking now. I think it's really cool. The only thing I'm not really sold on is this little underlay thing. So I might try and figure out a way to... I might still go back to this and experiment with colors. But we're reaching the point now where I think, you know what, maybe I should just keep it as a sort of orange or a pink. Keep it consistent with the color palette. What do you reckon? Let's try that. Make it a bit darker. You know what? I reckon that might be the way to go. Yeah, there it is. I'll probably change my mind before the next stream. You watch. Let's have a look. Okay. I need a drink. I'm getting parched. That's cool. Apparently I have 5 viewers. How very exciting. There we go. Okay. You know what? I think I'm gonna probably leave it there. Actually, I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. I'll touch it off stream, and I'll probably yeah, probably play around with the colors a bit. But I think for a doodle blob, that's not too bad. That's good enough for this particular one. I might even add a bit of shadow actually. So maybe a bit of shadow like underneath these vines to really sort of bring them out. Actually, you know what? I'll do that now. I'm going to do that one more thing because I think that might add a real cool little thing to it. Might add a bit of depth, you know. Let's give it a shot. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to add it right to the very... No, not on top actually. I'll go over here. I'm going to add it like that. And then I'm going to blur. I'm going to use a, I'm not sure how this is pronounced, Gaussian blur, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to sort of gently go like this. And I'll lower the opacity a little bit. And what that does, it sort of gives the shape just this, it sort of makes it look like it's sort of rising above the actual doodle blob. Oh, we got Spinsy. It's good to see you, Spinsy, my friend. How are you? Yeah, thank you for the compliment. I actually quite like this one, to be honest. I wasn't at the beginning, I must say. I feel like I started off slow with this one. But it's getting there slowly but surely. And it's becoming a nice little complement to the rest of the DoodleBlob family that I seem to be building here. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's actually funny. I think I'm kind of almost done, actually. So it's pretty good. But how are you, dude? You going well? I hope you are. I hope this lockdown is treating you okay. I might actually go... what I'll do, I'll bring this up like that. Before I end the stream, you know, I'm going to try one more thing. You know, I've said that twice now. I'm tired. I'm just about to head to bed. Just want to say hi. You know what the truth is, dude? I'm about to head to bed myself. I've got a big day tomorrow, so I got to really... I suppose get a good night's sleep and prepare for it. But yeah, it's good. I'm glad you said hello. Hello, it's good to see you, man. And yeah, I'll hopefully see you in real life or IRL. Is that how these new people say it? Who knows? But yeah, thanks for dropping by and sleep well. Sleep well, my friend. Okay, let's go multiply. There we go. I might go to a really vibrant orange, maybe a little bit of yellow. I'll go to a thick brush actually here. Now this could actually work really badly. This might not work at all, but I'm going to go like this. I'm going to change the tone of it just a little bit. So I like the idea of maybe this little pine cone terrace thing here. I like the idea of that sort of evolving into a different color as it moves slowly towards this way. And you know what? I'm kind of liking it. I think it's cool. I like it. I think it's cool. I said that in a real bogan way. It's really cool. I really like it. It's not bad at all. It's good. It's nice. There we go. I'll get rid of the rest of that little orange bit. Like that. So I'm sort of just manually erasing the orange out here. And what you'll see is that it's created this rather interesting gradient sort of across the pine cone here. Looks quite nice, I think. I don't usually do that in DoodleBlobs, so maybe I should do it a little bit more often. It creates just a really nice... It feels like it's like looking at an object that sort of sits in the maybe sunlight, you know, or maybe underneath like a sunrise or sunset. It just gives it a nice sort of glow. And then I'll quickly go over to, I think it's this one, and I'll just erase that. And yeah, you know what? I'm going to leave it there. I think that is enough for tonight. To all those who are watching, thank you so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. If you want to see anything else that I do, you can actually do it on you can actually see everything I do on my website. So my website is mlloydartist.com. And here you'll find all sorts of cool things. So you can actually see all of the, not only do you get a link to my Twitch channel, but you can also see all of my previous streams on YouTube. So you can actually, if you press the big old live button, that'll take you to my YouTube channel with all of the content I'm making, which is really cool. And make sure you comment on my thumbnails because I'm really proud of those. Also, you get a link to my Instagram at mlloydartist. I put a lot of my stuff up there, and you also get notifications of when I stream there as well. You can find my Skillshare. I have Patreon. You can do some really cool stuff. Yeah, thank you for joining Dr. O as well. It's good to see you as well, and thank you for joining. You're here every stream, and I love your loyalty. It's really cool. We got to catch up in real life, man. I wish I wasn't as busy as I was. I really do, because then I could actually find a time. But yeah, I'm super excited to see you eventually. Yeah, and that's kind of my website. I do sell products, by the way, so if you're interested in those, I sell all sorts of cool things. One product I'll highlight tonight is my backpack. This is the stained glass backpack, so it's called stained glass because it's not actually made of stained glass. It's actually made of fabric, really water resistant and really like tear resistant fabric. But it's got 3 storage compartments, 5 different panels of artwork. It's called stained glass because that's actually the style of the artwork that I put on there. And it's actually a really cool bag. It's super vibrant. You'll never lose it. Really fun. You can find that all from my website, so feel free to check it out, as well as a huge other range of products. But yeah, that's basically me. I'm mlloydartist, so that was a DoodleBlob, and you'll get to see more DoodleBlobs if you give me a follow. If you're watching this back on YouTube, follow me on Twitch as well, because that helps me grow. And then, yeah, that's a super help. Yeah, so thank you for watching. I once again am mlloydartist. Let's find the credit screen. There we go. Cool. I eventually got there. It's that time of night. I'm losing my mind. You can check everything I do at mlloydartist.com. I'm on Instagram at mlloydartist, and I'm on Patreon at mlloydartist. Thank you so much for watching. If you are still looking for some cool art to watch and you're not quite done yet, you know what? I'm going to raid someone. So when I finish up, you feel free to stick around if you'd like to see one of my recommendations. But from me, that's enough. Adios. Have a wonderful night, and I look forward to seeing you all in future streams. And yeah, ciao.